film sucks. Indie film sucks. It's the Indie Film Sucks podcast. Yeah.
Coming at you from the mean streets of St. Louis, from a basement on South Broadway, the Indie Film Sucks podcast. Because indie film is a big bag of shit.
What? No, boo,
No.
boo. It's no Mon's turd.
It's not a big bag, right? It's not a big bag of shit. It's a small flaming bag of shit. Probably.
It is. Yeah. I think today, I said you start out with a big pile of shit, and then you got a small turds, and then you hope you shart yourself, and then maybe you're farting. I mean, that's the evolution of indie film, I think.
All right, so this is good night, everybody. Way to break into the show, boys.
Exactly.
Well, you guys look great, by the way. I mean, we are representing the Lou today.
Yes.
No, yeah, perfect,
Because
man.
we got three awesome teams.
I got the Cardinals. Blues got a chance this year, I think. Maybe not. And two suck teams here with the City and the Cardinals.
We still love our teams.
Better maybe next year. We'll get them next year.
Always next year. There's always next year. Yeah, they don't suck. They're professional teams that are struggling a little bit.
It happens. There's ebbs and flows.
That does happen.
Yeah, kind of like, independent filmmaking.
Hey,
there's ebbs and flows.
Hey, look at-
there you go.
Look at that transition.
Exactly.
It's called a segue in the...
Segue.
Exactly.
It is, anyway.
So we just had James Dean on.
Yeah.
And so I was thinking, what did he talk about that we can maybe, hit a little bit more on without him? Kind of like the post show, right? The guest post show maybe after he was on there. So he hit on four things that I thought were interesting that maybe we can expand on tonight. Is he hit right off the bat, like, how do you balance everything? So from his perspective, it's family life. He's got a new girlfriend. He's moving. He's got 3 different movies going on in different functions.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Not just us, but for probably a lot of filmmakers.
Exactly. He talked about finishing, which I thought was important, because I didn't know that Absolution was actually finished, started before Triple
No, me
Xmas, and
neither. I
then
was
finished
surprised.
afterwards, being a finisher. Flexibility within indie film. We touched a little bit on flexibility with sets and different things there. I thought that was an interesting topic. And are we too hard on ourselves? It's like a trivia question. Are we too hard on ourselves for $400, Alex? All those are up for grab tonight, so we can talk about that or something else.
Well,
but I thought it was
you
interesting.
mentioned something being too hard on yourselves or ourselves. I probably have a different perspective than some people about that. I think we're not hard enough. I'm hard myself, but I do it because it drives me to be better. Mm-hmm. I have to be hard on myself. It's the same as, I have to pick myself up too, because nobody else is going to do it. And when other people are hard on me about something, it's you drive yourself. And if you can't drive yourself and be hard on yourself, you're probably not going to be successful at anything.
So take it in the independent film world, when people are comparing us to large budget features and knocking us down in that way. I don't know that we're too hard on. I mean, maybe we are, maybe we aren't in that sense. And I think in life you're right, 100%.
Well, I think, although it may be unfair, like I said with the James Dean interview, it's unfair, but I don't care, because that's not, I'm not trying to compare ourselves to Disney or anything like that. I mean, it's just, you can't, so I don't even think about it.
Yeah. What about you, Greg? Because I can think of one review site for a particular World War II movie where there was some comments said, and I get it, you take it with a grain of salt, but what's your say on that aspect of it?
Well, as a filmmaker, you grow up watching movies, right? No one becomes a filmmaker who hasn't watched movies, right? That's sort of a
Prerequisite,
if you will, to becoming a filmmaker. Is you spent your childhood, your youth watching films that you loved, and most of these films were probably not exclusively, but probably of the Hollywood variety.
Oh, yeah.
So you want to make films like your heroes have made, and you kind of compare yourself to them, and an indie film, a lot of the times it's going to fall short. I think as you go through this process, if you stick with this process, and that's the key, if you stick with it, because a lot of people do not stick with it because it is so difficult.
Right.
You really have to ignore all of the people that compare your independent small budget film to large budget films. You have no option.
No, they don't get it.
No, they don't get it. And the last thing you should ever do, and this is something I've never done, is you get in some online debate with someone who criticized your film.
Yep.
Because there are people who have shit on my films that I could easily say, well, you weren't there. You didn't go through what we went through to make this film. But you know what? At the end of the day, it doesn't matter.
So is that a learned behavior for your experience through your career doing this? Because I shouldn't put words in your mouth. Did you take it more personal early because you didn't understand?
I never responded.
Okay.
So it might have cut, and no one likes getting a bad review or bad criticism, but I never responded. And I know some filmmakers who would go on and fight with people online. Well, actually, but it doesn't matter because you never win in that situation. In fact, you always lose.
Yeah, and what I've noticed with Greg is you are hard on yourself.
Yeah.
But it's to make yourself better. That's what I was addressing. It's just that you can't puss out if you're going to.
Oh, no. Because you wouldn't finish, right?
No, you got to be your own worst critic, but basically ignore everybody else.
Filter out
filter out the
non-relative critics.
Yes,
right.
I should say that.
Right. Okay, fair.
I should say don't ignore. Let me correct that. Not ignore everyone else, but ignore the negative criticism, which is not helpful.
Agree, because I don't think, and even what James said about finishing, and we could take that a million different ways. I don't think we would ever finished anything if we thought what they thought, right? Because we always say, you try it. You go out and try to do it because we're out there doing it. And if I had $1 million, I still don't know if I'd make a movie like Steven Spielberg can make because the guy is very talented.
Not with $1 million.
Well, no, but if somebody gave me $40 million, right? That's a learned art at his level, even.
Yeah.
And you could even, I'm sure those guys are sitting around comparing their movies and just going, man, I had 30 million and I made this. Somebody else had 30 million and they made this. Because even at that level, there's still a comparison of films at that amount of money.
Sure. Well, we always compare. We watch movies. That's what we do.
True.
Hollywood variety and independent variety, and we look at them and compare them to similar genres, similar budgets, and everything. And you're right, Mackie. Some of them we'll look at and go, man, this is phenomenal. That's awesome. And the other ones are like, man, they spent 40 million or 100 million or whatever, and
this is what they got.
shit.
And this is the best they could come up
Right.
with.
You should have just shaved me off $1 million, and I could have been fine just making my little film.
They spent it all on marketing and one name actor who did a crappy job. You know?
And that's why I'm glad we are starting into this film review now, because I think it's going to open up our eyes and let us experience more films from every level of people that are doing it and giving people honest feedback on what I would think what they're doing well.
Yeah.
And looking at their movie through an independent eyes on what they actually put out there from how our experience is, as opposed to somebody whose only comparison is Hollywood films.
Yeah. That's the whole point of us doing independent film reviews. Mm-hmm. It's not to take other filmmakers' work at a similar budget to ours, maybe a little bit above, maybe a little bit below. It's not to take that and shit on it.
No,
because anybody can do that. Anybody can shit on someone else's movie if they have no involvement in it, right? And it's not to give everyone a 5-star glowing review, everyone wins a prize. It's not to do that either. It's to watch it with the eyes of people who have done it and who are still doing it. And saying, here's what we liked, here's maybe what we didn't, and here's our opinion on this film. Because that's the thing that I found throughout my years of doing this, is you always want to get eyes on your movie, you always want to get coverage of some sort, and that is one of the hardest damn things to get. Get someone to pay attention to your damn movie.
Right. Yeah, no, I think that's, and just try to hit on some more of what James was talking about with, we really hit on that flexibility within indie film, and I think watching other people's films, I think brings us back to looking at what they had to do, right, and bringing on those independent filmmakers and asking them the same questions of, man, how'd you pull that off?
Yeah, it's inspiring in some cases.
It is. It's really nice. So another thing James hit on, which I thought was important from how he started our conversation, and check that interview out because I think it was awesome. James opened up a lot about Absolution and the new projects he has going on, and got a little bit of more insight on the Triple Xmas, but the balance, right? On how we balance and put balance in any aspect of how you balance your life, balance your hobbies with what you want to do with finishing films. But where I want to really go with this is how do you balance having more projects going on than you probably know what to do with, and then finishing them, right? I think he kind of tied those two together, finishing and balancing.
Well, see, I mentioned this too. I don't know if there really is balance. There's a fuck ton of juggling, though. You know, I don't have any real balance in my life. I mean, I juggle lots of things, so there's no real balance. I mean, one day I may be more in tune with doing stuff with my family, and the next day I may do something with one business and another business and podcast. It's just a juggling act to me. I can only speak for myself. I have zero balance, man. It's just all a juggling act, and and same with filmmaking. You see Chris juggling actors, you know, metaphorically, right? But he's not there juggling real people.
So
that'd be cool.
You're more Johnny Lawrence than Daniel LaRusso. That's what you're saying.
Oh, nice.
You kind of look like him.
Good reference.
Well, yeah, I guess so. I mean, my life's not quite as... he dropped all his juggling balls.
No, I think both...
He don't need juggle at all. He just goes in and he goes in swinging.
Yeah.
I think both fit together, Brock. I think there is juggling because you're trying to keep everything afloat. But if you didn't have balance in life and understand where your family fits with this, with something else, right, then you wouldn't, right? Juggling is one step away from dropping the balls because you put one too many balls out there.
That's where I'm at, for real.
But I think there's a balance to it because being able to call your partners and go, hey, I know we were supposed to meet tonight, but I can't do it because you have good balance in what you want to do and where your priorities at. I think when you even have 3 feature films going on or 1 in distribution like Red Knighted Skies is today, with old properties, with trying to do a podcast, right? We're trying to always figure out that balance with what we got going on. It was interesting to hear James talk about the balance between Triple Xmas being in distribution with Absolution, trying to get here with now starting another crowd fund. Right? Yeah, he's juggling a lot of tasks within that balance, but he's still balancing, right? Maybe it's a guy on a ball with a plank and he's balancing.
I really never feel like I'm even keel with anything at one given time, ever.
No, I don't think any of us are even keel. Never. I don't feel even keel at all.
That's what I mean by balance. You know, to where you feel calm and
I see what you're saying.
Good.
Like the balance scale, like the Lady Justice, right? The scale's balanced.
Yeah, mine's all over the damn place.
Right. I'm going to say that for years and years, I didn't have any balance. It was 100% all filmmaking all the time, and that cost me a marriage. Mm-hmm. That's a big reason why I got divorced, and I had to learn that this shit that we do is not the be all end all of everything.
Right.
I had to learn it, man. Sometimes I got to step back from it. Sometimes I have to pay attention to things which are not filmmaking. Mm-hmm. And I wish I would have learned that with my first wife, but you know I didn't. Mm-hmm. And that's not the whole reason, but that was a big part of it because I was all in for filmmaking. I mean, I went from 0 to 1,000. My best friend died. I became a filmmaker, and that was literally within a month of those events happening.
So extremes.
Yeah. Because, and I will say, I'd always been a creative guy. When I was a kid, you know, I wanted to be a writer. I used to do little radio plays with tape recorders. I used to make little camcorder movies. It was always something that, you know, I was interested in. I didn't want to do what every other kid and person was doing, but I never really knew about the world of independent filmmaking. So when I stepped into that, I was in with both feet, and I didn't come up for air for a long time. And I think that ultimately hurt more than it helped. Now I think I'm in a place where I have a much better sense of I don't know, you want to call it work-life balance, but filmmaking life balance.
Equilibrium, if you look at the charts on like an old hi-fi or something like that, where you just kind of see these levels going up and down all the time, it's like that figured out how to make a good sound, but there's a lot of things going on within that, right? I mean, just to use some kind of analogy there, I suppose.
Yeah, one thing that helps me out is I do have a lot on my plate, the balancing act, but I can really compartmentalize things. Like when I'm focused on this business, I mean, I'm there.
Sure, you're very good
and
at
then
that.
when I need to go here, okay, here we go. Whoop, here we go. I'll really start focusing on this. So I mean, if you want to call it balance, because things are going okay for me, all right, but it's still in my head. I got boxes everywhere that I'm trying to juggle, man.
But I think Greg hit it with the extremes, right? We don't extreme it. You're not an extreme guy. You'll go all in when you're there because of the compartmentalization, which I thought was a good way to phrase it. But you're not destroying marriages or doing this or throwing a film away because we did something else, right? There's 1,000 things that you could possibly do if you don't have it or get too overwhelmed that you don't finish.
Right.
I mean, look how many things we have in the works right now.
Yeah.
And I think we finally stopped and said, hold on a minute. It's cool, but we need to take steps back first, right? We need to get stuff copyrighted. Right?
Well,
I mean, that was going way back.
That's 100% why we brought the podcast back, because we were in pre-production on the next film. We were going forward with it. The script was done. We were starting to think about location, starting to think about breakdown, starting to think about casting. We had a decent line on budget. Everything was kind of coming into place, and then it's like, man, why are we making another movie right now at this second? Because we've done this many, many times before, and a lot of filmmakers do this. The fun part is making the movie. The fun part is the run-up, the pre-production to making the movie. The post is fun. But when you get to the marketing and the selling and the promoting and all of that horse shit, then it's no longer fun, and it becomes a terrible chore that you don't want to do.
Yeah, and we're still in the beginning process of that on Red Knight, to be honest.
Yeah.
And understanding it, but you can, if you understand where you're going, which I think James did. I think James has learned it. He talked about mental health and even having to take steps back. I thought that was important.
Very important.
That you know how to put them into perspective in order to not let something drive it where it's like, well, screw this, and you do nothing well, right? If you do too many things unright, you do nothing well, right? You take on too many things.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes we all go there. I think independent filmmakers go there.
Yeah, because you're wearing 25 hats. And the one hat that most independent filmmakers don't want to wear
Marketing
is the marketing hat.
It is definitely the hardest hat to wear.
It's the hardest hat to wear because everything is out of your control.
It's all mud.
Yeah, exactly. It's all mud. There is no, if you just follow these 10 steps, then you will successfully market your film. That does not exist. As opposed to every other stage of filmmaking, there are definite paths that you can follow and definite tried and true things that you can do to make a film.
100%.
Yeah.
But you get to post-production, and then it's suddenly the Wild West. And everybody is out to rob your stagecoach.
Well, it's scary because
true.
the money's spent.
yeah.
So you're in debt.
Yeah.
Right? You feel like you owe people.
You do.
You feel like you have to finish the film. Even from a simplistic standpoint, if we always talk about the premiere, there's big pressure to get that on for everybody else because you
it's
haven't
a big
started
deal.
thinking about yourself yet, right? I mean, there's a lot of, man, I thought when James mentioned that mental health and you started talking about Rhineland and all this kind of stuff, it says, I've never experienced that. I mean, I go through my ups and downs even with the little stuff we're going through. I'm a crab ass all the time. I'll admit that. I mean,
But
You're a beautiful man.
thank you very much.
That's the thing, man. Most filmmakers get to this point, and it sucks.
Right.
So what do? What have I done? Man, this sucks. Let's make another movie.
Because that's what I know.
That's what I know.
And I'm happy doing it, and let's
Yeah.
figure that out. And what did we say? Is because we were going to put Rhineland into distribution, and we had an outlet for it.
Yes.
And we go, why do we need another headache of something that we don't know, and then we have one more thing to think about that maybe or maybe not be moving forward.
Yeah, because our distributor suggested we change the title, and we do a bunch of things, and it's like, man, this movie, is it going to be worth the pain in the ass it's going to be at this juncture to do all that?
Maybe if we could find balance, we could
Maybe.
Oh, look at you. Look at you. So,
Or we can just put it up on Film Hub and call it a day.
no, and there's always that thing in finding balance for your portfolio, finding balance for whatever you're doing. So, anyway, I mean, let's just make this one a little bit short tonight.
Okay.
What do you say, guys? So
I thought we covered a lot in a shorter period of time.
we did. You know what we're gonna do is we don't be too hard on ourselves. Stay flexible within the industry.
Be hard on yourself. That's fine.
Yeah. Well, being hard on yourself to learn is fine.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's what you say.
That's how I prefer it to be.
Yes.
I'm no pussy.
But don't be too hard on yourself comparing yourself to the industry or listening to
Don't waste your
people that are
time
hard
about
on
that.
you,
Don't waste your
right?
time on that shit.
Yeah,
Right.
100%. Don't waste your time
Because you can
comparing
be
yourself.
flexibility, and if you have some sort of balance in, you will finish.
Well, hopefully
So
I'll
there
find
you
it.
go. I've hit them all. Check out the interview by James, or Indie Film Sucks interview with James Dean. Very enlightening.
Yeah, his Indiegogo is still going on, so contribute if you can. This dude's a hustler, and he's a good guy, and he cares about other people, and he cares about art. This is a guy you want to see succeed.
Your blade is my salvation.
Yes.
No.
My blade is
My
yours.
blade.
Man, you don't mess up much. You do not mess up
That's
much
fine.
on us.
He might change the name. Now.
I was looking at this and going, he is so wrong.
Man. Yeah. My blade is your salvation at Indiegogo.com. Giallo film by James Dean. It's still funding. Trying to get up to 6 figures, and they're over halfway there.
Yeah, doing well, but he could use some more help.
And check out James Dean at
MonsterKidProductions.com.
There you go.
Find everything there. So that's what we learned tonight, kids. So appreciate you listening. Like and find us wherever you find us. So,
Yeah, man.
What else did we learn tonight?
Well, I learned about the highs.
The lows.
And the in-betweens. You should be the in-between.
I know, I
You're the
should.
fucking middle. Let's try that again.
All right,
Okay.
here we go.
What else did we learn about tonight?
The highs.
And the lows.
And the in-between.
There you go.
of true independent filmmaking.
That's right.
And the Indie Film Sucks podcast, it's on, wherever you can find,
All the stuff.
all these
That's right.
things.
They're only
Thanks,
going to get
guys.
better, gentlemen. They're only going to get better.
Indie film sucks. Indie film sucks. It's the Indie Film Sucks